She's stable, so. Woo!
We start together?
Yep, we'll start together. Yay, we're live. Gotta fix yourself real quick first. Hello, hello, hello. Need to get Botox right here.
Yeah, you do.
Right there. I'm gonna get Botox right here. I'm gonna win the lottery one day and I'm gonna get Botox right here. I'm gonna do my lips.
Gross.
Oh, we got 4 on. Hopefully no one heard that. Hey, just kidding. Let's get over. Give me some room.
No.
No, I'm the mama. She's the mama.
There's 2 of us. 1 and 2.
All right. Hello, hello, friends. There's 13 people. We're just waiting for a little bit more to jump on. Thank you for joining us. Native Wellness Institute Power Hour. Let us know where you're coming from. Where at the native country are you coming from? Drop it right there in the comment section. Share this link. Share it with your friends, with your family. Because we're going to be doing a little bit of movement with just your body weight. And how we can stay physically well with just our body weight. Also, our physical wellness is inextricably linked to our mental, our emotional, our spiritual wellness. So there's many things that we do right in our life to keep our total wellness, and movement is just one of those. Movement is just one of those, and we love to move. We're very active, and when our daughter's not on the couch on her little Kindle, she's moving too, but it's keeping her busy so we can bring to you a good session.
Yep.
And so, hello from Bakersfield, Quill, Washington. What's up? All right, someone is so excited for us. Arlene, thank you.
Thank
good,
you.
Good. Yucaipa, California. Yes, Yucaipa. One time we were driving through Yucaipa, some friends and I, and our clutch blew out, so we stayed in that little hotel right off the 10 on the way back from LA to here to Phoenix. But my name is Thosh, and I'm one of the board members of the Native Wellness Institute, and I'm from the Onakamiri O'atam, the Salt River people. And we are located right outside of Phoenix. We're bordered up with the city of Phoenix in Scottsdale. That's where my community is, where I was raised there. And currently right now I live with my wife, Chelsey, and our daughter, Aloe, who's 2. And baby number 2, who is in the womb right here, who's also going to be moving with us today. So that's who I am. Again, I'm one of the co-founders of Well for Culture Indigenous Wellness Initiative, founded by myself, my wife, Chelsey. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I am originally from the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa and from the Standing Rock and Cheyenne River Sioux tribes. So I was born and raised in North Dakota, and I've been living here in O'atam territory for about 4 years.
5.
5? Oh my God,
6.
time is flying. It's so crazy. I still feel new to this area, but I love living here, and I'm loving our beautiful Southwest late fall, early winter that we're experiencing.
Yeah, this is 87 degrees out right now, which is summertime for a bunch of y'all.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're excited to share some movement with you today, and I think the way that we're going to do it is I'll, for the most part, start out. Hello.
So with how we're gonna start with our little movement session. Bear with us as our daughter's in the back. I know a lot of you know how it is, but we're gonna start off with our movement session for those of you that are just joining us. And we're gonna move today. We're gonna share some of our favorite ways to move with just our body weight. And it's important that we get to know our body once again. If we feel like we've grown away from knowing our body and moving, it's good for us to learn our capabilities again of what our body is. And learn to be creative in our movement, to exercise for functionality, for mental health, for your emotional health, and for our spiritual health. So movement is for everybody, no matter what age you are, no matter where you're at in your physical fitness or wellness journey. Movement is for everybody, and Indigenous people have always been moving. Look at our games, look at our dances. Look at the original techniques that people would use to strengthen themselves. We were very athletic people and still are today. So movement, we have to make movement our culture again, I always say. Make it part of your personal culture. And where I come from, they say your himadag is your way of life. For me, Mamoika, to exercise is my culture. It's my way of life. It's the way of life of our family and our home. And so we want to share with you just ways to do that. And we know that many people are not going back to the gym and don't foresee themselves going back to the gym for a while, which is something that we are also advocate for. And I haven't been to a gym since early March, and I don't plan to go back. We found great ways to move our bodies in the home or outside on the land. And so we want to share with you the basics of that, of your body weight, learning to utilize your body weight. And along the way, while we're doing that, we're going to introduce various concepts and ideas on how you can approach your movement practice with some indigenous thoughts and incorporate indigenous ideology, incorporate your teachings, your people's language with your movement practice.
Mm-hmm. All right, so should we get into it?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, everybody feel free to stand up, please, and join me. We're going to start with some easy, light stretches, mobility, and we are going to just warm up our bodies here. So first, we like to start with just this, I call this monkey arms, but just swinging the arms up and down. And we always start with dynamic warm-ups. So what that means is we're doing movements that are fluid and that encourage mobility and that warm up the muscles and that get our blood flowing in a gentle way so that eventually we can get into a little bit more strenuous, maybe strength training, and then eventually our muscles will also be nice and warm for even some flexibility toward the end of the session. So nice and loose here, and my shoulder blades are sort of pinching as I move the arms up and down, and we're maintaining a nice upright posture. Good. Now we're going to go ahead and let's focus on our foot placement. I want your feet to be pointed forward and your feet are nice and flat on the ground. And if you're wearing uncomfortable, bulky shoes, go ahead and try taking them off if you can. And I always like to exercise barefoot or in moccasins. I think that's the best way, or in socks, depending on what I'm doing exactly, of course. And then just go ahead and wiggle your toes on the ground. Wiggle your toes, and then just gently start rocking back and forth, feeling your weight shift from the balls of your feet back to your heels. From the balls of your feet back to your heels. So just rock up and down, and as you do this, maintaining your nice upright posture. There we go. So we're just kind of playing with our balance. Notice how all of the muscles in your body are starting to engage. You're using your glutes, your quads. If you're not as pregnant as I am, you're probably also using your core to stabilize you a little bit. And just beginning to really feel the muscles in the calves working. Good. Okay, now let's play with shifting our weight from side to side with lateral motions. So really I'm just stepping and stepping and stepping from right to left and right to left. Good. And this is just going to, again, wake up the body, play with our center of balance, and get us going.
Keep your breath going too. In your nose, out your mouth. Don't hold your breath. Bring it in your nose, out your mouth.
Yeah. So now let's try a couple different things. First, I want you to lift the knees high with each lateral step. So you might not, I'm pushing my knees pretty far out to the side to encourage hip mobility, and also because I have my baby bump in the way. But you could try doing it straight up too. It's not the best thing for me to do right now because, again, of core engagement, but you can do it. Will you show what that looks like when the knees are coming straight up?
Yeah, you can just pick your knees straight up.
Yeah.
Right here. You can even mix it. You can mix it like a mix of what Chelsey's doing. Go in front of you, and at the side of you. The side of you, opening up your hips.
And then start to incorporate the hands too, like Thosh is doing. Just walking the hands with it. And if you're ready, you could even, have the hands up here and fight stance, whatever you want to do. Make it your own. And then we're going to play, again, with a different a different position. So we're gonna try, basically you're like kicking your own butt with your heel. But again, just loosening up a different area of the legs. Now this time what I noticed myself doing is leaning forward a little bit. The posture and the uprightness of my back is maintained, but I'm leaning forward and shifting the center of balance. And then with each step, my foot comes gently down into that toe forward position. So we're just really encouraging mobility here. Okay, so feet are back. Let's stand forward again. This time, turn your feet outward just a little bit and have them a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Now we're gonna start sweeping from side to side. So we're gonna duck and land upright, duck and upright. So again, just really opening up the hips, playing with that shift of balance. Opening up the hips, keep that breath going. I like to inhale as I lower, exhale as I rise. Now speed it up a little bit. And you might find your sweep gets a little bit deeper as your hips loosen up, your ankle, your body's warming up. And just rock with it, whatever feels good. Getting a nice deep squat now. But the muscles are continuing to move as we do this. And again, if this is a lot at some point, you could maybe, you might be here, you know, and that's totally fine. Modify the movement to fit whatever is comfortable for you. And this might be a great warm-up for some people, just a gentle step from side to side. You can incorporate your shoulders a little bit. Good, good. All right, now find something to hold on to for balance. I'm gonna use Thosh. Just extend your arm and hold me for balance too. Like this, kind of like lock arms, there we go. So I'm using Thosh, but you can use a wall or a chair or whatever you want. And we're just gonna do this little runner stretch where you sweep the leg from side to side. Can you do it at the same time or would that not work?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Thosh doesn't get to do this one because he's my wall.
Yeah.
So sweep the leg from side to side. Again, just loosening up the hips. And then we're going to go ahead and do the other leg. Sweep it from side to side. Loosening up the hips. I always do this one before I work out. It really feels good. Nice and loose. Good. And then we're going to do it forward. Let me step forward a little bit so I don't kick aloe. Then we're going to do it forward and back rather than side to side. So forward, forward and back. What do you need, babe? Need milks? Okay. Okay. Thosh is on snap duty for aloe. Forward and back. Somebody says they're taking out their snowshoes today and hitting trails. Moving anchors, that's awesome. Okay, Aloe, come on, babes.
It's a movie.
She wants her mooey, her smoothie. Okay. Now we're gonna stretch out the, what's this word I'm looking
Your
for?
hamstring. Your dynamic stretch. Dynamic stretch.
Yes. So we're gonna take our heel and put it just in front of us, and we're gonna bend the opposite knee and hinge at our hip, keeping a nice upright posture. So pretend there's a string connecting your toe to your belly button, and you're just getting pulled down and up, down and up. Keep breathing. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you rise. Switch sides now. Bow and bow. Good. So obviously this is opening up the hamstring. We're even continuing to open up the hip a little bit. And most of all, we're encouraging the body to work together and to take action as one cohesive unit. Now try alternating. So you're stepping and stepping. Notice I'm putting my leg out to about a 45-degree angle with each step. And step, hinging at the hip. I'll show you what it looks like from the side.
This one's a good one for those of you that sit a lot, you know, and during the day at your work or whatever, and when you sit, your hamstrings can get really tight from sitting a lot. So
Yep.
it's good to like get up once in a while and to open up this way, or that way she's going. Like
Yep.
open it up different angles and get your heart rate up a little, and start to kind of keep some mobility in your hip, but also kind of, you know, actively in a dynamic way, kind of pull apart that hamstring, and it'll help with if you have low back pain. A lot of times it's the hamstring down to the calves, the fascia to the bottom of the feet. It's all connected. So
Good job, Alan.
and Al likes to join.
Good job, babes. Okay, and then notice how. What is it, honey?
Come here.
What's the matter? Oh, okay. Now, notice how just a slight shift in the movement will really warm us up in a different way. So this time we're going to take the stance a little bit wider once again. And before we were going kind of straight forward and keeping the hips square. Now we're going to take it wider and we're leaning more to the side rather than toward the front. Still generally the same movement pattern, but you're just shifting the stance. So now it turns into more of a hip mobility movement. And then you're opening up sort of the inner legs as opposed to just the hamstrings. And when you're ready, if you are ready, you can incorporate the hands as well. Just challenge yourself to use that level of coordination. So when I incorporate the hands, I like to stretch the arms all the way out using my whole wingspan, and I'm just touching the ground as I go, and reaching the other hand toward the ceiling. So you notice as I do this, basically my wingspan is all the way open. And then what that does, incorporates the chest, incorporates the back. So really this becomes a full body dynamic warm-up when we incorporate the hands and the arms. Good. Just a few more. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Awesome. Okay, and now continuing on with the trajectory of that hand movement, but switching up the legs a little bit. Our feet are going to be a little bit wider than hips width apart. Our stance is going to go toe forward once again. Our feet are nice and firm and flat on the ground. All points are touching the ground, so we have good firm stability. If you don't have the flexibility to touch your toes, feel free to bend at the knees a little bit as we do this, but it's just going to be that same hand motion and a twist of the body. So opposite hand is going to reach for opposite leg, and I'm reaching and touching. Reach. So as I do this, particularly because my bump is in the way, I bend the leg. I bend one leg at a time. So the hand that touches the opposite leg, that leg is being bent. But some people might be able to do this with totally straight legs. But again, just touching opposite hand, opposite leg, and getting that nice twist.
And if you're unable to do that, you can do this version too, where you're just going over here.
Yep. Always look for a good modification. And remember, at any point, if any of the movements that we're doing are a little bit out of reach, or if you need a rest at any point, simply marching in place, keeping your breath going, is a really good way of continuing to move, but also doing so at your own pace, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, Thosh. Do you want me to move into some floor stuff, or do you want to move into...
Do the floor do something for another, 5, 8,
Okay.
9, and then I'll go ahead and do the last.
All right, everybody, please come on down to the floor with me. I'm just going to show you a few more warm-ups. And you don't need any equipment. I'm using a mat because we have this really hard concrete floor. Can you tip the screen back up a little bit? There we go. But I also want to show you how I warm up on the floor. And again, my movements are going to be a little bit catered to not engaging the core, because that is not a good thing to do while you are super pregnant like me. Normally I would show a little bit more of that, but for today, we'll do it this way. So go ahead and just sit with your toes pointed forward, and our hands are going to be right behind us. And we're just going to start by shaking out the knees and the legs. Shaking out the knees and the legs. And for me, this just warms up the muscles and gets me moving a little bit. Don't be afraid to let the legs like kind of slam on the floor as they come down. Just be real nice and fluid. Good. And then we're going to just point and flex the toes. And flex and point and flex and point. And even though we're leaning into our hands, we can still maintain a nice posture where I'm conscious of my shoulders being upright, the head being engaged, and the neck, so I'm not just like flopping back. I'm still engaged here. I'm actually kind of up on my fingertips a little bit. There you go. And then just switch. So opposite. So one foot points while the other flexes. One foot points while the other flex. Good. And then we're going to take one leg out and one knee comes in. And we're just going to start by take a deep breath in, and the left arm is going to rise. And you're going to lean toward that right toe and really stretching the side body, and then back up to center and lower. A couple more of these. Inhale. Exhale, lower toward the toe. You can point your toe if you want. Inhale, back up to center and release. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, back up to center and release. And fourth, inhale. Stretching the side body. Exhale to the side. Inhale, back up to center and release. Now let's switch legs. Good. So here we are. Inhale as your arm rises. We're getting used to using our breathing patterns. Inhale back up to center and release. Always incorporating the breath with our movements. Whether we're doing strength training, running, dancing, stretching, and mobility, the breath is always key in helping us to keep our energy up and to get the most out of our movements with our body. So often the tendency is to kind of hold our breath or brace ourselves while we're moving, or to we lose control of our breath maybe, and we'll be just panting or taking really short breaths. But when you consciously take these deep inhales and exhale as you move, you're really getting the most out of your respiratory system there. So then legs come to straddle, and again we're doing our little loosening of the knees and the legs. Just shake it out, shake it out. And you might be here, you know, you don't have to have the same flexibility as the person next to you. It's okay. Whatever space your body is able to find, that is totally good. Okay, so let's go ahead and cross. What we want to do is a little bit of a hip stretch here. So we're going to be at all different levels. Some of us can maybe cross our legs all the way. What I want you to try to find is this position where your legs are basically parallel, one over the other. So my ankle is on my knee is on my ankle, I'm kind of stacked. And if you're unable to find this, just bring the legs maybe out to here or whatever position feels more accessible for you. But if you're here with me, then go ahead and put the hands on the hips. Deep inhale for a nice upright posture. And then you're just going to hinge forward at the hips, leaning forward. And this is as far as I'm gonna come right now because I'm already feeling a nice stretch of the IT bands here, this side part of my big upper leg muscle. Already feeling a nice stretch, and I exhale as I lower, and I inhale as I rise back up. So just at your own pace, I want you to lower in and out of this stretch, feeling a nice opening of the hips and a stretch of the IT bands. Good. Which is such an important area of our leg that we often need to engage while we are squatting or while we are lunging. And then it's also an area that does tend to get super, super tight. So stretching out the IT bands, and notice how I'm keeping the motion going as opposed to making it a static stretch. And again, that's keeping in line with the fact that we are trying to focus on more of a dynamic warm-up right now. So here's another method as an alternative. You could even do this from seated in a chair, actually, if you wanted to. But I'm showing you the floor just because we haven't done any floor exercises on the Power Hour in quite some time, and I like to show them. So right now, my right leg, my ankle is just on top of my left knee, and the knee is bent. And so I'm just gonna scoop my body forward using my hands and my arms to sort of gently push me. And I inhale, and again, when I do that, I'm feeling a nice stretch in the IT band. So it's all the way from the glute down to the knee area is where I'm feeling that nice stretch. And just leaning forward. Just leaning forward. You can even rock back and forth into it a little bit if that feels good, but keep your breath going, and we'll just play around with this for a few more seconds. Feels good to open up. As I mentioned, you could do this while seated in a chair as well. You can cross your leg just like this, almost like you're reading a newspaper. And keeping your breath going and just kind of rocking in and out of it, doing whatever amount feels good. Maybe you have a lot of flexibility and your leg is going to come much closer here, your stability leg. That's great too. Whatever amount of stretch that you need, feel free to access that. Obviously, the further out the stability leg is, might be the tighter that you are, or the closer the stability leg comes to your glute, the more flexible you are. So switch sides. My right foot is coming down. My left foot is going to cross over my right knee. And I'm just going to inhale as I prepare, and exhale, just gently pushing myself toward the leg. And I'm getting a nice stretch in the IT band on this side. So just feel free to play around here in this area. Keep it moving, and feel your hips and your IT band opening up. You could even lift your butt off the ground and sort of move around with it this way and see how that feels. But in any case, it's good to get a sense of your level of flexibility in this area, and know that we need to focus on our IT bands when we are doing our mobility and loosening up. Okay, and then if you have the range of motion, come into butterfly position here, and then so the bottoms of the feet are together and my hands are on my ankles. And one more time, we're just gonna lean forward with a nice upright posture and inhale back up to center. Lean forward with a nice upright posture. Inhale back up to center. And if I had been doing this 9 months ago, I probably would have been able to lay almost all the way flat forward on the floor, but my flexibility is not there right now. And that's totally okay. We go through different phases in life. Our mobility is different depending on injuries and age and body composition and all kinds of things. And so whatever, I don't even like to use the word level because that sounds too hierarchical, but whatever access we have to different types of movement, that's okay. And it's just good to move your body in any case. All right, so let's find our way. Oh, this is a good one to teach. So often we forget healthy or safe ways to even stand up from the ground. So I'm just going to encourage, make sure that when you're standing up from the ground, try to get a nice flat foot, and then the other side, and then just stand up like that. There we go. All right, you ready to take over, Thosh? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Thosh is going to take over with kind of picking up the pace a little bit and getting you into some more strength building and mobility stuff. And you still don't need any equipment for any of this, but I hope that was a good warm-up for you all. And we're going to follow along here with Thosh.
Yeah. Let's readjust. Take a quick little break if you need
it.
it.
Take a water break with me. I need water.
Grab some water if you need it. Right, let's see how people are doing. Did someone said thank you, I needed this, glad to hear it. Good. So while you're taking a short little break, again, just to kind of reiterate what we were saying in the beginning, that moving our body is, as we know, is important for many different benefits. For everyone learning new movements, it actually helps your brain grow. It actually changes your brain chemistry when you're learning new movements and you're challenging the body. And moving the body is about strengthening your body's functionality, your everyday to-day function of walking, bending over to pick things up, carrying stuff. You know, just you want your body to function really well. And so it's important to do that. Again, it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter your size. It doesn't matter any of these things. Your movement is for everyone of all walks of life, no matter your age, no matter your athletic abilities. Movement is for everyone. There's many different ways to move. Taking a swift walk around the block is one, of course. Working with horses, taking a nice easy hike, functional training, you know, whether that be with the rocks outside and the logs, doing a gym, or a kettlebell or some dumbbells at home in the driveway, or at a gym that's doing healthy measures, practicing all different sorts of dancing. All sorts of forms of movement are important, and you must find what modality of movement speaks to you. You must find the one that's going to make you want to get after it every day and continue to challenge yourself. So it's hard for some people I hear, it's hard to get on that path, but once you find the strength and you start kind of going along and you get over a little bit of a hump, it gets easier in a sense that you look forward to it, especially when you start to feel the benefits, when you start to feel how much better your body is functioning, how much better your energy is, how clear your thinking is, how better your mood is, and how better your body is looking. Then you will stick to it. Then it becomes a part of your culture, it becomes a part of your way of life. And so, and then also too, when we put our body through a little bit of strenuous movement, when you start to sweat and get your heart rate up, the body releases different neurotransmitters like dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin, noradrenaline. These things that in small amounts are actually good for your brain. It's actually good for your endocrine system. Helps to reduce stress, and the cortisol, which is the stress hormone, it can help reduce those. So you're releasing a lot. You're moving energy around your body, and so it's important to think of those things think about you're taking care of yourself, you're being well, so you can have something to offer to your family, to your friends, to your community. You're well for everything around you. That's what we're practicing wellness for, so we can contribute and give something. So when we bring in these indigenous ideas into your movement, it's really connecting your movement to something larger. It's much different than typical dominant society's idea of fitness, where they just want a nice set of arms or a nice set of abs or a butt or whatever. Those things are nice, of course, too, but what's important is the functionality, is the spiritual, physical, mental, emotional benefits, as I talked about it. So in a spiritual sense, you could move your body with those intentions, and that's where you're incorporating spirituality. We are making our minds better and our emotions better, so we're connecting our spirit much more, where all these areas are kind of configuring themselves. That's good. Okay, so now we're going to get started right here, back up again. I just want to take a little break and give you a moment. And here's what we're going to do, is we're going to get our heart rate up again, and we're going to stand follow my stance. You're going to stand with your feet pointed out this way. You're going to get slight bend, and you're just going to rotate. You're going to rotate around, twist around, breathe. You're going to get some movement in your hips right here. See, I'm pivoting. You can't see my feet, but I'm pivoting, and I'm turning my hips. My upper body's going to follow. It's going to wrap around. So you want that spine to really wrap around you. And breathe. You're taking in oxygen. The oxygen's going around. It's going through your blood. It's clearing up a lot of energy. Good. Good, 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 good. So now we're going to continue on with some lateral movement right here. Watch me first. I'm going to bend like this, like I'm lunging to one side. I'm putting my hands together like this, and I'm going to rotate at an angle. Look how it starts with my feet. So I'm down here, and I twist upwards. I'm going to go like that. I'm going to step back a little further so you can see. Just watch me first. I'm down here, breathing out. Look at how it starts with my feet. I'm getting some power going. So big breath in, out your mouth right here. So let's go ahead and all do it together. You're going to start with your left side. Get a bit of a lunge. See my back right foot. I'm on the ball of my foot on the back right. Your left leg, foot is flat. Hands are clasped together like this, sort of grip right in front of your knee. Don't bend your back like this, because you're going to put tension on the low back. You don't want that. Arch your back. Squeeze that glute. You're squeezing that glute and ham. Breathe in and exhale. Rotate at an angle. Look up at that ceiling. Reset. See on my feet? They're pivoting. It's all with the feet. Energy up from the floor up. It's just a way just to get some power going. Developing some power, which is good for everyone. Even if you're not an athlete playing sports, everyone can benefit, because you're really allowing your lower bodies to work. And when the low body starts to work, it demands more of your entire body, which can be really good if you're trying to regulate blood sugar. Is incorporating the low body will help to sequester that blood sugar into your muscles, into your cells, because most of your muscles are in your legs. I mean, the bigger muscle groups are in your legs, and those are the larger storage depots for glucose. So that's even what some science has shown. Even type 2 diabetics, they're not sure the mechanism, but still the resistance training and training for power can actually help with the blood glucose levels, even in type 2 diabetics. So we went here, we did this. We did the other side. Now we're going to go into a pulling motion. So watch me first. As I'm right here, I'm bending down at my hips. Again, my back, it's not hunched. I'm arched. You should not feel any tension in your low back. If you feel tension in your low back, you got to arch it. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the hams. Watch here. My palms are facing inward, down. I'm taking a deep breath in, and I'm squeezing my back together. See how I am right here? I'm squeezing my hamstrings and my glutes, and I'm pulling my back muscles together and flexing at the top. Okay, so everyone do that. Breathe in and exhale out. Hey, can you plug in the computer with your charger right there? Keep going. Remember, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your hams, squeezing your upper back. breath. Look at me from the front here. Look at my elbows. They're in. Squeezing the upper back together. Good. Shake it out a little bit. You should feel a lot of blood flowing in your back. I'm in really good shape, and even my breath is going. So if you're not breathing hard yet, then you got to work a little harder. Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your age. It's just breathing in, taking lots of oxygen, long, solid exhales, and squeezing all these muscles, these areas that we're working. So we're just doing the best that we can with no equipment. But what we've done is we've done a rotational movement, we've done a pulling movement, and next we'll do a push movement. Okay, we're going to do a push movement. Actually, let's go into a lunge movement. Let's give the upper body a little break. Watch me first. This is the first lunge variation for people who are unable to lunge all the way down. Okay, so if you have problems with your knee, or if you're older, or you're not able to do this, that's okay. This is what you're going to do. Watch me first. I'm stepping forward the left leg. The right leg steps forward. Left arm comes up. Just watch. You gonna do this with me? That's what we're gonna do. So those are the first one you're doing. We're bringing the arms in just to incorporate like the local motion of the body as it walks. As you walk like this, you're incorporating that. You're just kind of getting your central nervous system to fire and do different things. Okay, so that's the first variation. The second variation, if you're able to do this, you're just going to do a reverse lunge. It's my favorite as far as the lunging movements go. You're just stepping back. I'm squeezing the glutes on this leg and the quads, and I'm standing up. Then I'm going to switch and do the other side. So let's do those for about 20 seconds. Again, you have the option to do this alternating lunge. That's like a smaller lunge with your arms incorporated, or you can do the one that I just did. But we're gonna go for about 20 seconds, okay? Get ready and start. Remember, big breath. Notice my arms. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze those hamstrings, quadriceps. Do lunging with me. Keep going, big breath. In time. So far we did a rotational movement. We did a pulling. We just did a lunging movement, and next we're going to do a pushing movement. Okay. So again, you can go for timing. You can say, okay, how many reps can I do in 60 seconds, and go down the line of all these movements. You can get a 5-minute exercise, and if you need to get up from your desk and do something to get your energy up. Again, it picks up our mood. See, listen to me, I'm kind of out of breath. So you can get a good workout in with just your body weight in a very short amount of time. It's good for your mind. It's good for your mood, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go into a push. We're going to keep it really simple over here. We're just pushing air, you're pushing energy. And as you take a deep breath in, you push out, you just want to imagine you're pushing out a bunch of energy out of your hands that you need to get rid of. Maybe you got too much energy, maybe you're anxious. Maybe you have negative energy you don't want to carry. So you're going to just send it. Don't make sure not to send it towards nobody. Just send it towards the wall or towards the ground. Watch me first. My elbows are in. My hands are like in a stop position right here. I'm doing a lunge. I'm taking a deep breath in and exhale. And as I push forward, I'm flexing all my anterior, my core, and I'm pushing forward with my triceps, okay? So give that a try. Remember your elbows in. Take a deep breath in. Follow me. Good. Let's go for about 8 more. Flexing your back up here. Flexing the front muscles. Ooh. If you're flexing those muscles, if you're flexing your back, squeezing the back, and you're pushing, flexing those anterior muscles, you can really feel it. You'll get some blood going to these areas. Again, the big breath will take oxygen all around your body. Imagine you're taking in that sacred air, oxygen, one of the gifts of the Creator, You're taking it in and it's carrying energy to all these areas of your body. And imagine this is freeing up. Maybe we have stagnant energy from things that we've witnessed or trauma in our life, stress. We don't just hold trauma in our brain. They say you hold trauma in your organs. That's what our spiritual leaders tell us. Your liver, your kidneys, the heart, all that. So imagine you're taking in the oxygen. Imagine it's going through your body. Use your mind. The mind is really powerful at that time. Good. So now we're going to go into a squat, okay? Because we did a pulling, we did a pushing, we did a rotate, we did a lunge. Now we are going to do a squat. So I'm going to demonstrate the first version of the squat that we're going to do for people who are unable to squat for whatever reason. You have an injury, you're older, maybe you're still kind of getting along in your fitness wellness journey. So this one is for you. This is the first. You want to get a bench or a chair, and you're simply just going to squat right here. Notice from the front, my legs are a little open. So my legs are a little open. Notice my foot placement. Look at my heels. They're pretty much under my hips. So you're sitting at the edge. Knees and feet are pointed out this way. Again, I'm going to show you from the front. This way. There's a line, pretty much a line from here to here almost. Opening the knees out. You're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, squeeze your glutes. Stand up. Squeeze the glutes at the top. Now push your hips back and squeeze your glutes in your hands till you feel the seat beneath you. Watching again, it's all about controlling your glutes, your hamstrings, your quadriceps, your low back is working. See my lumbar spine, my low spine, I'm arching a little bit. Watch again, take a deep breath in. So see when I shoot my hips back, I'm really pushing them back. I'm not doing this. I'm really pushing my hips back. Hopefully your hips, your knees are nice and warmed up. It might take a lot more for some people who are older to warm up your hips and your knees to do that. So that's the first variation. The next one is for everyone else. We're going to do a simple variation of that. That's pretty much the same thing. Look at where my feet are. My hands, you can put your hands in front of you if you want. You can stand up. So notice I'm shooting my hips back. Look at my back stays straight. It doesn't bend. I don't bow. It's not a hip hinge movement. Your hip is bending, your knee is bending, but my spine, look at my spine is staying upright. So that requires some mobility in our thoracic spine, which is the middle part of your back, and also your lats. So that it does take practice. It also, a good squat takes mobility in your ankles. So if you're unable to sit like this, if you find yourself doing this, then you have immobility in your ankles, and there's a series of drills you can do to create some mobility in those ankles. But a lot of ancestral people used to sit like this, and so that they had good hips, they had good squat. So, but we're not going to get down there just yet because we're just doing a little workout today. So watch here, watch how my knees go outward. If your knees go in when you're squatting, then you need to pull them out, and there's muscular imbalances, okay? So we're going to do about 20 seconds worth of squats. What we just did here, or the variation right there, okay? So let's go ahead and go. Watch again from the side. We're going to go for about 20 seconds, okay? Just do as many as you can. Go at your own pace. Big breath. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the quads. Keep your core nice and stable and tight. Keep that back upright, okay? Here we go and start. Big breath. Breathing in. Breathing out on top. Breathing in on the way down. Breathing out on top. Time. Shake it out a little bit if you need it. How you guys doing out there? Toddler's napping. I can join. Good, Cindy. Shaylene's laughing at Aloe cruising by. Yes. She did. Good. I'm glad it's good information. Vera joining us from Puyallup, Washington. We always love passing through there. Beautiful place. So, how's everyone doing? Let me know how these movements have been for you all thus far. We can have a little discussion here this last 8 minutes of the little session right here. Any other questions? Anyone have questions about something? Anyone might need some recommendations or need some more insight? Maybe we can share some more things right there. While we're sitting here, and if anyone has anything right here, just bring your hands up together and just clench them, your fists just like this. Stand wide. Standing wide right here like how I am. Look at how upright I am. I'm not like this. I'm trying to really extend. Okay? Do that. Take a deep breath in. In your mouth and your nose. Out your right. Then to your left. Out of your mouth. Keep arms extended. Take a deep breath in and reset. Now it's time you're going to bend to your right. Open up your left side. Open up the inside of that right hip. Good. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, bend to your left. Good. Exhale, bend to your right. Good. Nice. Hang on to something. Grab your ankle right here. Try to keep your knee together like how I am. Right here. And just stand upright and just gently try to pull. Try to create a straight line. See my shoulder to my hip to my knee. It's kind of straight and it's not like this. I'm right here. I'm pulling. You want this and this to get close together. Pushing your hip forward. Push the hip forward. You feel that stretch in your quadricep. Go ahead and switch sides. Keep breathing. Good. Do a nice little stretch right there. Good, Adrian. Enjoyed the spiritual history, combined exercise, body, and movement. Yes, there's a lot of spirituality involved in movement. Again, one way to bring in your spirituality of your movement is when you're exercising or moving your body or doing anything like what we just did, you can introduce this concept into your mind that you're moving and it's a way to give thanks for your body and for your health. So, oftentimes in our ceremonies, our spiritual leaders talk about give thanks for our food or give thanks for what little we have. We can do that with our body. That's the way of course, everyone has different entities they pray to. But for myself, I give thanks to the great energy that created our world. I don't think of it as a man god. I think of a great entity, and it causes everything from that grass to grow to the electricity in our hearts to the stars in the sky. That's created that. Whatever this powerful existence is created that, and it's allowing me to move my body. So when I move the body, I give thanks. I'm moving this way. I'm thanking. I'm sending out an energy, a signal that I'm grateful for my body to move. And so that's a good way to bring in your spirituality with your movement. So think of your movement as like a little ceremony. You're doing a ceremony with yourself and with your brain, with your heart, your spirit, and you're giving thanks. You can take it out on the land and just breathe. Even if you're inside of the gym or you're in the home, it doesn't matter where you're doing it or how you're doing it. If you just adopt that teaching in your mind, it's like, I'm grateful I have my legs today. Even if you're a person who doesn't have the motion or the movement functionality of their legs, you can still move what you have and think about this concept of I'm grateful that I have this much. So, good. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed what we had to offer. Again, my name is Thosh. I'm one of the board members of the Native Wellness Institute and co-founder of Well for Culture.
My name is Chelsey, and I'm also the co-founder of Well for Culture, and I'm a trainer for Native Wellness. And I'm so excited that the Power Hours have continued so many months, into, this kind of started out as a pandemic response, and it continues to be that, but it's also grown into so much more than that. This huge cache, this huge wellness resource that's available. So remember, there's so many more wellness-oriented videos on the Native Wellness Institute YouTube channel, because they upload the power hours every day, so you can look back in the archive and continue to receive lots of great wellness information that way. So thanks for having us, Native Wellness, as always, and thank you all who joined us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we want to encourage everyone to stay safe out there. As you know, that there's been a surge of cases in this recent weeks here all over the country and parts of the world. And as we know, as Native people, our people have been disproportionately affected by it, as well as other diseases. But this infectious disease, like all disease, has a spirit as well, and it must be respected. We must respect that, and we must do our part to maintain our physical distancing while keeping in touch with our elders and calling them on the phone and asking how they're doing, asking them to tell story, and continue, of course, to covering our face, and of course, abstaining from our cultural gatherings and leaving that up to our cultural leaders to take care of that business that needs to be done. But we must, all of our spiritual leaders, they look at diseases like this, even in the past. They've looked at these diseases emerging for a reason, and they saw it as an entity that we should be careful of and respect. It's nothing that we should downplay and look at it as a political issue. It's a health issue. It's an issue of us as human beings, and we must do our part in continuing to make sure that we can reduce that spread of that. Because I myself have known a good handful of people who have already lost their lives for it, and all as Native people. Everyone knows someone who's sick from it right now or has lost somebody from it. So this is a really serious thing, and I want to encourage everyone to continue to take that seriously and take care of yourselves and protect the people in your community and in your home. Okay? That's all we have to say. Thank you.